We're about 6.5 minutes away from the first milestone in the terminal phase of the countdown. The Soyuz first and second stage engines are ready for launch. Telemetry being received from the rocket by the launch engineers at the blockhouse in Baikonur. All of the Soyuz primary and backup systems are ready for launch. Currently, the International Space Station is flying just off the west coast of South America, about to cross the southern tip of Chile and back out over the southern Atlantic Ocean, about to move from southwest to northeast in an orbit inclined 51.6 degrees to either side of the equator. The phase angle for today's launch for a 34 orbit rendezvous is 276 degrees. Today's launch window 25 seconds in duration, but the countdown is of course timed to a precise second when the Earth's rotation will carry the Baikonur Cosmodrome launch pad at Site 31 into the plane of the station's orbit. T-minus 11 minutes, 40 seconds and counting. Again, all of the Soyuz systems are in excellent shape. No issues being worked by the launch control team. And again, at the Russian Mission Control Center outside of Moscow, the Russian flight controllers are watching over the final phase of the countdown and the ascent to orbit. At spacecraft separation, they will take over control of the Progress for its automated flight to the International Space Station. Now T-minus 11 minutes and counting. On board the International Space Station, again, a busy day for the 7 crew members led by Station Commander Oleg Kononenko. Kononenko and his Russian crewmates, Nikolai Chub and Alexander Grabenkin, and NASA astronauts Matt Dominic, Mike Barrett, Jeanette Epps, and Tracy Dyson are all involved in a variety of activities. The Russian crewmates on board the station are monitoring today's launch and preparing for the arrival of the Progress on Saturday morning, while the U.S. crew members on board the station are involved in spacewalk preparations, verifying the operation of the extravehicular mobility units, or U.S. spacesuits, in the Quest airlock for the trio of upcoming spacewalks that are scheduled for June. Now 9.5 minutes until launch. Again, you're looking at Launch Pad 6, Site 31, in a remote section of the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan in the Central Asian desert. Skies are clear, the temperature 82 degrees Fahrenheit. T-minus 9 minutes and counting. We're about 2 minutes away from the launch key being inserted in the launch bunker transitioning the launch sequence into its terminal or automatic mode for the final minutes of the countdown. The first stage engines being replenished. That replenishment will be terminated at about the T-minus 1 minute 30-second mark in the countdown. T-minus 8 minutes and counting. Again, everything proceeding in smooth fashion with today's countdown. The Soyuz poised to begin its journey to its preliminary orbit, delivering the Progress 88 unpiloted cargo craft for a cargo trip to the station with 2.7 tons of food, fuel, and supplies on board. T-minus 7 minutes and counting. The exact launch time is 4:42 and 59 seconds a.m. Central Time, which is 2:42 and 59 seconds p.m. at the launch site in Baikonur. The launch sequence has been transitioned into automatic mode as we approach the T-minus 6 minute mark. T-minus 6 minutes and counting. T-minus 5 minutes, 30 seconds and counting. The range is clear for launch. Launch controllers at the blockhouse in Baikonur report that the Soyuz rocket is ready to begin its journey. The report from Baikonur is that the fuel lines and other elements of the first stage engines are being purged with nitrogen that fireproofs them by removing vapors of fuel and oxidizer from the base of the rocket. Coming up on the T-minus 4 minute mark. Mark, T-minus 4 minutes. In about a minute and 15 seconds, the first stage booster will be pressurized for flight. T-minus 3 minutes, 30 seconds and counting. Everything is go for the launch on time at 4:42:59 a.m. Central Time. Residual fuel now being drained from the first stage in advance of the first stage engines being pressurized for flight. T-minus 2 minutes, 40 seconds. And the first stage is being pressurized for flight. Again, this optimizes the flow of fuel, helping to add structural support to the rocket prior to liftoff. T-minus 2 minutes and counting. T-minus 1 minute, 30 seconds. The ground propellant feed has now been terminated to the Soyuz booster. The Soyuz now on internal power. T-minus 1 minute and counting. We're about 25 seconds away from the retraction of the first of the two umbilicals buttressed up against the side of the Soyuz booster. T-minus 38 seconds and counting. And there is the retraction of the first umbilical. The second umbilical will retract in about 14 seconds. And the second umbilical now retracting, initiating the auto sequence start. Standing by for main engine ignition. We have main engine start. The engines and turbo pumps coming up to flight speed. And liftoff. Liftoff of the Soyuz booster, Progress 88, beginning its delivery run to the International Space Station. The Soyuz booster pitching downrange, arcing out to the northeast from the launch site. All engines up and running in good shape. Good vehicle structure reported. Performance nominal, according to the launch conductor at the blockhouse in Baikonur. Yaw, pitch and roll, all nominal. Good structural parameters on the Soyuz booster. .55 seconds into the flight. Engine chamber pressures are nominal, good structural support for the vehicle. Now passing the area of maximum dynamic pressure on the vehicle. 1 minute, 14 seconds into the flight. The flight reported to be nominal. Good control of the vehicle, good structural support. The blockhouse in Baikonur reporting all structural parameters are normal at the 1 minute 40-second mark into the flight. We're about 18 seconds away from first stage separation. And we have first stage separation. The second stage engine up and running and will burn for the next 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Two minutes, 20 seconds into the flight. All of the Soyuz booster engine parameters are normal. Good trajectory for the Soyuz booster. A little over 6 minutes of powered flight remaining. Two 2 minutes, 45 seconds into the flight. Good second stage performance. 3 minutes into the flight. Everything proceeding normally with the ascent to its preliminary orbit for the Progress 88 cargo ship. Three 3 minutes, 15 seconds into the flight. 5.5 minutes of powered flight remaining. And we have the jettisoning of the launch shroud that protected the Progress 88 during the initial stage of ascent. Second stage shutdown is expected at the 4 minute 37 second mark into the flight. All control of the vehicle reported to be nominal from the blockhouse in Baikonur. This view now from a camera on the upper stage of the Soyuz booster. 4 minutes into the flight, about 37 seconds until second stage shutdown. Good performance from the second stage engine reported by the flight controllers. 4 minutes, 24 seconds into the flight. Standing by for second stage shutdown. There is the third stage skirt jettison. And the third stage engine is up and running. It will burn for 4 minutes and 12 seconds. The vehicle is stable. All parameters are normal. 5 minutes, 20 seconds into the flight. About 3.5 minutes of powered flight remaining. Good third stage performance. Liftoff was timed perfectly, right on time at 4:42 and 59 seconds a.m. Central Time, which was 2:42 and 59 seconds p.m. at the launch site in Baikonur. 6 minutes into the flight, everything proceeding on track. Yaw, pitch and roll for the third stage is right on the money. The third stage engine continues to perform as advertised at the 6-minute 30-second mark into the flight, about 2 minutes and 20 seconds of powered flight remaining. Again, this video from a camera on the upper stage of the Soyuz booster. At third stage shutdown and spacecraft separation, the Progress will be inserted into a preliminary orbit about 125 miles above the Earth. Again, a series of engine firings will slowly increase the altitude of the Progress to match that of the International Space Station. 7 minutes, 20 seconds into the flight, about 90 seconds of powered flight remaining. The flight continues to proceed in nominal fashion according to the flight controllers in Baikonur at the 7-minute 45-second mark into the flight, about 1 minute of powered flight remaining. The vehicle is stable. All third engine parameters are normal at the 8-minute 25-second mark into the flight. We're about 20 seconds away from third stage shutdown and spacecraft separation. Yaw, pitch and roll, all nominal. Standing by for third stage shutdown. And we have third stage shutdown and spacecraft separation. The Progress now in its preliminary orbit. Hopefully we will get a view here momentarily of solar array deploy. And there go the solar arrays. And the solar arrays and navigational antenna now confirmed to have been deployed. So a perfect launch for the Soyuz booster, delivering the Progress 88 cargo craft into its preliminary orbit, and the 2-day chase to reach the International Space Station now underway. And there's our first view from the external camera on the Progress vehicle, the familiar cross-haired engineering view that shows the preliminary functioning of all of the elements on the Progress resupply vehicle. It was a very smooth, uneventful 8-minute, 49-second ride from the launch pad to its preliminary orbit. Progress 88 now on its way for a docking on Saturday morning to the Poisk module on the space-facing side of the International Space Station. And the flight controllers now at the Russian Mission Control Center outside of Moscow reporting a good activation of the Progress's Core's automated rendezvous system. That will come into play in earnest on Saturday morning during the terminal phase of the rendezvous. This is Mission Control Houston. Just to recap, the Soyuz 2.1A booster launched on time at 4:42 and 59 seconds a.m. Central Time, which was 2:42 and 59 seconds p.m. at the launch site at the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. It was a smooth ride to orbit for the three-stage Soyuz booster. 8 minutes and 49 seconds after launch, the Progress 88 cargo craft was deployed from the third stage of the Soyuz booster, now in its preliminary orbit, to begin a 2-day journey to the International Space Station. Looking ahead to Saturday, we will begin our rendezvous and docking coverage for the Progress 88 at 6 a.m. Central Time, 7 a.m. Eastern Time. The docking schedule for 6:47 a.m. Central, 7:47 a.m. Eastern Time on Saturday morning. The Progress to automatically link up to the Poisk module on the space-facing side of the Russian segment of the International Space Station. Right on the heels of the conclusion of that, we will segue into our coverage of the Boeing Starliner crew flight test launch. That coverage to begin at 7:15 a.m. Central Time, 8:15 a.m. Eastern Time, leading to a launch of the Atlas V rocket from Pad 41 at the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida to deliver Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams on their 24-hour journey to the International Space Station, and a docking on Sunday afternoon to the forward port of the Harmony module of the International Space Station. So once again, a very smooth and clean flight of the Soyuz booster, Progress 88, now safely in its preliminary orbit, headed for a Saturday morning docking to the International Space Station. Thank you for joining us this morning. We'll see you again on Saturday morning with our twin bill coverage of Progress's docking to the station and the crew flight test launch to the International Outpost. For now, we'll sign off. This is Mission Control Houston.